I think we could get started now. I want to say welcome to everyone attending and hello, and welcome to CSNN Distance Education's Open House. Before we get started here today, I'd like to mention a few housekeeping rules. You see one of them on your screen today. If you would be so kind as to mute your microphones during the presentation, that would be wonderful. And just to let you know that by attending this presentation, you acknowledge that it is being recorded for distribution to those who were unable to attend or for marketing purposes. This presentation provides information about the CSNN distance education programs and options. Please feel free to post your questions in the chat below. We will address your inquiries at the end of the presentation. So, hello, welcome again. My name is Julie Nelson. I'm a holistic nutritionist and lead instructor at CSNN Distance Education. Giving the presentation today is Christine Armstrong. Christine is the General Manager and Student Support Specialist for CSNN Distance Education. She is a registered holistic nutritionist and a graduate of ours as well. Our president, Caleb Souls, will be working behind the scenes today, answering your chat questions. And we are thrilled to introduce you to Vida Shariar, a holistic nutritionist and a graduate of CSNN, who has just joined our team as an instructor for our brand new Fundamentals of Business course. Vida is also an attorney, excuse me. So with her unique combination of expertise in both holistic nutrition and law, she brings a comprehensive understanding of the importance of a healthy and holistic lifestyle and the business acumen to help holistic nutrition students succeed after graduation. So welcome, Vida, and please tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Julie, for that lovely introduction. My name is Vida, and I am so excited to be here with you all. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to each of you and a special thank you to Julie, Christine, Caleb, and the rest of the incredible team here for having me and for facilitating these open houses for prospective students like yourself. I think it's an incredible opportunity for the public to learn more about the program, its benefits, and the lifelong value that can be gained here. So I'm thrilled to be here as your new instructor for the business course. It's an honor to have this opportunity to connect with all of you and to share my journey. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a registered holistic nutritionist, a proud graduate of the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, and a lawyer. My passion lies in helping people achieve optimal health. Specifically in my practice, I focus on digestive and mental health. I dedicate myself to identifying and addressing unique health imbalances through customized evidence-based nutrition and lifestyle protocols. And essentially my goal is to just help clients tackle their unwanted symptoms by rebalancing their body systems and ensuring that they can live their best life. So that's just a little brief introduction about me and the work that I do.
So what exactly drew you to natural nutrition?
That's a great question, Julie, and one that I get asked very often. My journey into natural nutrition began in a rather unexpected way during my time in law school. So I faced a series of health issues that I initially thought were just part of the daily grind. I tried to push through thinking it was normal to feel unwell and that, it was just a phase and everything would be okay. It wasn't. And it wasn't until I realized the limitations of solely relying on traditional Western medicine that I started seeking alternative solutions to support my health. And I do believe in the supportive role that Western medicine can play, and I appreciate the value that it can bring. And it did, in fact, play a supportive role in my health to a degree, but I felt this deep need and interest to address the root of my health concerns, and I just wanted to dig deeper. So I believe it's always important to work with a team of healthcare practitioners because each practitioner is trained, educated, and experienced in a specific area that does bring value. This led me to explore natural dietary and lifestyle changes, and I really discovered the profound impact it can have on overall health. So this personal experience was really a turning point for me. I realized that diet and lifestyle are not just aspects of health, they're actually the very foundation of it. And that's why I chose to pursue an education in natural nutrition, because I wanted to harness this power, not just for myself and my health, but for everyone else. I wanted to be able to guide people in a way that supports their bodies both naturally and sustainably. So thank you for listening. And that's just my story of how I decided to study natural nutrition.
Well, so many of our students have had similar experiences as you, Vida. So what made you decide to choose CSNN?
Another great question, and one I'd love to delve into because of the value that CSNN brings. So thank you so much for asking that, Julie. When it came to choosing a school, CSNN stood out to me for many reasons. To begin, the academic support here is incredibly strong. And what I mean by that is that the instructors, they're not just teachers, they are mentors who are genuinely committed to helping you succeed. And they work closely with you, offering personalized guidance and support. And this one-on-one interaction is truly invaluable, and it ensures that every student feels confident and prepared to enter the field upon completing the program. So Um, I think that we just had someone who didn't mute their mic, but I think we're okay now. The training at CSNN is very comprehensive in that it covers what you need to know to start working early on in your career with confidence. And I really enjoyed that, because once I graduated, I didn't feel like I didn't know what I was doing, or I was nervous really, because I was so supported along the way. The school also provides ongoing support and encourages graduates to stay updated on the latest scientific studies, health-related topics, and to really follow their scope of practice and code of ethics, ensuring that we as nutritionists provide the best advice to our clients while adhering to the law. And one aspect of CSNN that I really do value specifically here at distance education is the emphasis on time management. And especially in a distance education setting, I think cultivating the skill early on is incredible, not just for completing the program, but also in life. And I feel that the instructors and team are always willing and ready to support you by providing practical tips and strategies to help you manage your time effectively to succeed. And for me, CSNN was more than just an education. It was truly a transformative experience. It has allowed me to incorporate its teachings into my daily life. It's helped me live symptom-free, which at one point in my life I thought would be impossible. And CSNN has just empowered me to educate and inspire my clients and hopefully future students who are here today. And I promise I'm almost done with my little speech about how much I admire and value CSNN. I will just end off with the fact that choosing CSNN was absolutely the best decision I have ever made. The value of the education and support here is unmatched. And it's really given me the tools and the confidence to make a real difference in the lives of others. And I'm incredibly grateful for the experiences and knowledge I gained. And I'm really passionate about sharing that with all of you. So thank you once again for being here, for listening to my story. And I really do look forward to an amazing journey together filled with growth, learning, and inspiration upon your enrollment.
Oh, thank you for those accolades, Vida. It's a pleasure to have you on board. So at this time, I would like to introduce Christine Armstrong, our general manager. She has prepared a very comprehensive and informative presentation that covers all sorts of topics like program options, course descriptions, and much, much more. Are you ready to go, Christine?
I'm ready to go. Thank you. Thanks, Julie. Thanks,
Welcome.
Vita. That was a great introduction to this webinar. I wanted to start off, first of all, again, I'm Christine Armstrong. I'm the general manager of CSNN Distance Ed. I am also the person that you are likely going to be corresponding with when you're looking for information about our program. So I'm the person who sends out all of the brochure information, provides you with all the details about the program. And I guess that's why I'm here. I'm also the one who talks the most in the office. So that's probably why I have a primary speaking role. So here we go. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was about CSNN. And around 1994, we were founded. So we're celebrating our 30th year. Very proud to celebrate that 30th year. The first in-person classroom location, I believe, was founded in Richmond Hill, Ontario. And that it became very apparent early on that not everybody could attend a classroom location. So very shortly afterwards, the distance education program was founded. And back then, it was old snail mail. We would put all of the course requirements together in and mail them to you, depending on payment plans you'd chosen. All your textbooks were mailed to you. All of your assignments and tests would be mailed back to us, and then we would respond in turn once the grading was completed. So you can imagine it was very labor intensive. But in 2015, we made a major breakthrough. We made a major jump to online education, and I don't think we've ever turned back. We've gone now completely online. There's a few exceptions. For example, our advanced, we'll get into that. But yeah, we're moving on. And we have a CS, I think what sets us apart from a lot of other schools, our curriculum, the curriculum we had back in 94 looks nothing like the curriculum that we have now in 2024. We have a curriculum committee that's constantly reviewing the materials and information available to us, the latest research. And from that information, we're making updates to our program on a continuous basis. So before I dive into the program options, I also wanted to mention kind of what we stand for. And when you're looking for a nutrition school, I think this is a really important thing to consider. There's lots of schools out there, and really our mission and goal is I think really important. So I thought it would be a great idea to mention our kind of mantra. I think, Vita, you've noticed, like as you were going through your studies, whole, alive, natural, good quality are all terms that we used throughout the program. And when we say natural, we're meaning unprocessed, unrefined food, such as whole grains and legumes. Things are as close to nature as possible. Alive, we're not really mentioning like, live wriggling on the plate kind of situation. We're not starting a raw food movement here, but we are talking about live, meaning that our food must contain as many of the enzymes and nutrients, vitamins and minerals that nature provides to our food. So we want to stay really close to that. And lastly, good quality. So we're talking about food that's grown in good soils that are rich in essential nutrients, preferably organic and free range if you can afford it. We all have to do the best we can, especially now in these days. We don't like the use of pesticides and synthetic fertilizers, that kind of thing. And a lot of people ask, certainly when you hear holistic nutrition, we are, often the question comes up, are we a vegetarian or vegan program? And the answer is actually not. We actually try not to demonize any kind of food. Everybody has different requirements and needs depending on different stages of their lives. And we are really talking about a lot of food philosophies. And that could mean vegan or vegetarian. It could also include animal or dairy products as well, in case anybody is interested in what we're actually teaching and standing for. So distance education, like what do we do, right? So distance education is program, it's part-time, it's self-directed, it's self-paced, and it's online. In other words, the industry phrase is asynchronous. The following programs are provided online. So the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program, which is the program you would need to complete in order to use any of our titles and credentials. The Introductory Certificate Package, we'll get into that. The Healthy Eating and Lifestyle Certificate, and the Holistic Culinary Certificate. The exception is our advanced workshop certificate. So after you've graduated from the program, you have the option to take some of our advanced courses. And these remain paper-based for now. Things are changing and things are updating, but for now, they're still paper-based correspondence. And I'm saying changing because we have a few brand new courses online for advanced students, which we're really excited about. One of them is called the Quantum Connection to Spirit, which makes the connections between spirituality, mind, body, and quantum physics. So we're really excited about that. And we're almost, I think we're like a hair away from launching the advanced pediatrics course, which is going to specifically dive into developing case studies for children, for children. So this is a new pediatrics case study workshop, and it'll be available to anyone who's taken the latest pediatrics course offered in the Natural Nutrition Diploma program. So if you register now, you'll have the latest pediatrics, and when you graduate, you're welcome to go on to the advanced course. And we'll go into some more details about that. So due to some time constraints, I will be highlighting some important information about each of the options. But for more detailed information, you're both all welcome to reach out. Many of you already have. I see some very familiar names here, so welcome. And certainly we can send you some additional information. You can find this information by going to the csnn.ca website. If you look under branches, there's a heading called branches. There'll be a drop down and it gives you option of accessing the in-class locations or distance education, which is on the right-hand side of the page. Or you can just send me an email at Christine, CHRISTINE, at csnndistanceeducation.org. And if you're not sure, just throw an info at csnndistanceeducation.org. It's going to get to us one way or the other. So as mentioned, all program options are self-directed and self-paced. So as a student, you have access to your studies 24/7. However, that being said, we do have recommendations. And when you've registered, that's also in the program options brochure information, but we have recommendations on how to kind of schedule your time to get finished within a 1, 2, or 3-year timeline, depending on what your preference is. And we always send a reminder of that timeline with the welcome letter as well. We also have real live instructors. We're finding lately that a lot of nutrition schools have AI instructors, which is a little bit surprising, but we have real live instructors behind the scenes, and they're assigned to each of the courses and can answer a lot of the questions about the subject material in your course materials. And those instructors are contacted through our messaging system. We use Moodle, which is a very common learning format, learning software that's used by a lot of universities and colleges around the world. And you're just going to message the instructors through that system, and then the instructors have about 2 business days to respond back to you. And each program, of course, is going to be completed in the allotted time. We're going to go into some more details about the specific programs so that we can give you more information about that. So registrations are completed online. So there's a registration form you're going to complete. In the case of the Natural Nutrition Diploma program, you would choose a payment plan option and then provide your payment information through a secure payment processing system. We accept all payments, all major credit cards. If you have a bank in Canada, if you bank with a financial institution in Canada, you can also choose to pay by bank draft, money order, or personal check. And where applicable, once the payments have been made, if you're, either you paying in full or you do a payment plan, what we do is we will ship a physical textbook if there's one that's applicable to that payment. So that gets shipped to you. And then we unlock access to all of the lessons, the assignments, quizzes, tests. So you get to do those at your own pace. So currently in the program, we have, for people who are wondering, gosh, physical versus ebooks, currently have about 12 physical textbooks and the rest are ebooks. that are accessed directly through the course. So all of your tuition, everything is included. All of your textbooks are included in tuition, including shipping within Canada. When completing your coursework, all your quizzes and tests are open book, but and those quizzes and tests are timed. The only exception to the open book policy is the final board exam for the Natural Nutrition Diploma program, which is still timed and it's still closed book. So students are strongly encouraged to complete the lessons in numerical order, one at a time. So we're often asked if the diplomas are different, whether someone attends the classroom location or with the distance education. And the answer is not really. Our diploma is issued, whether you do it through distance or through synchronous studies in our classroom locations, you actually receive the same diploma. You're required to complete the same graduation requirements, and there really is no difference. So you write the same final board exam when you're completing the program. So you get the same diploma. All of the students in both classes on Light, it's all standardized. And in fact, some of our distance students are taking the final exam through distance ed when it comes time to write that exam. We use a proctor. So long gone are the days where you have to contact a library or a university to arrange a proctor. We don't have to mail any tests to you anymore. We have a proctor, we use Proctor Free. And when you're ready to write your exam, you log into the learning management system and you access Proctor Free and your exam and you write it online. So that can be done anywhere you have high-speed access. So it's a pretty exciting time now to do studies. Okay, now here's some general information covered about the program options. So the Natural Nutrition Diploma program consists of 18 courses. We estimate that the average student can expect to spend around 2,100 hours of study and instruction. So it covers nutrition relevant to each stage of life and the science and research behind it. An integral part of the program discusses the connection between body, mind, and spirit. And this program aims to enlighten in a very broad way how, about the effects of life experiences and mindsets and in health. Students must complete 10 real-life case studies. Of the 2,100 hours, by the way, about 900 hours of that you can expect to spend on preparing those case studies. So it's a lot of experience that you get. Many of our courses have video content. We're currently over, I think, 200 hours of video content, and we're actually constantly adding more as we get, more information. From time to time, we do put together some special webinars. Julie hasn't really mentioned that she is the webinar coordinator for the program. And so she and will team up with several of our instructors and we'll put together some live experiences for our students. Now, attendance isn't mandatory for any of these because we will record them and we post them to our webinar library because it is distance ed and it is self-directed and self-paced, so you're not obligated to join live. It's lovely when you do. It helps. It really brings a lot to the presentation. It kind of brings us alive, I think, when we have some human interaction when we're going through that. So, and then the other question we have, you'll notice if you've been exploring our classroom locations, they mentioned practical hours. With distance education, we do it a little bit differently. Any of the mandatory or important information is already included in our program. So as a result, practical hours really isn't required. My experience, I'm a graduate of the classroom location, and my experience was that practical hours was a time set aside outside of classroom hours where we sat around and talked about case studies and sort of approaches on how to, make recommendations to clients. But I think Julie and Kirsten and all of the team, in particular in our symptomatology course, have done a really wonderful job at putting together just a lot of instructional video and content. And of course, they're always available through our messaging system. to contact if you need any additional information or support. And I think one of the other things I really enjoy, what I'm really excited about, I think about, when was that, 2023, 2024, we created the Holistic Culinary Certificate. And so when we did that, we decided with the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program, we would actually include the Holistic Culinary Certificate as a free bonus to anybody who registers for the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program. So the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program is divided into 4 modules. So as you can see from our first course, Module 1 consists of Fundamentals 1 and 2. So all your vitamins and minerals, the lifestyle requirements, all your basics on, living a whole natural life. Then we move on to anatomy and physiology, and then we actually go into our bread and butter symptomatology. So, and we're going to talk into more detail because Julie is our symptomatology instructor. So we're going to get into that later on in the presentation. Again, for more information about the course descriptions, you're encouraged to go take a look at the CSNN website, or you can contact me directly. I can send you our brochure information that contains the descriptions in one place as well. So starting off with Fundamentals 1, as I mentioned, so things like vitamins, minerals, macronutrients, micronutrients, the importance of hydration, digestion, how lifestyle influences our wellness. Those are all topics that are covered in those 2 courses. Moving on to anatomy and physiology, we hope because our program is based on body systems, we of course have to give you an anatomy course. You need to know where all the parts are. So we're going to give you this program, so that this anatomy course, and you'll go through and learn about how our body functions. And then for explanation on symptomatology, I'm going to go call on Julie, who can talk to you about the course. And Julie, you've been an instructor with us since 2014. So you came on as an instructor the year I received my diploma, which is kind of coincidental.
Yeah, you're
I'm
aging me
certain
here,
that you
Christine.
have
You're aging
had
me.
a lot of, right?
Right. No, it's
It's all
true.
right.
Yes, and I
I
love
just did the math a
symptomatology.
few days ago and I realized how long I've graduated. So I'm as shocked as you are. So I'm certain that you have read a lot of case studies. And what can you tell us and what to expect about the symptomatology
Love
course?
case studies, but most people are really curious as to the actual meaning of the word symptomatology. So on our brochure, the CSNN brochure states that nutritional symptomatology is a simple yet valuable science used for the assessment of nutritional deficiencies and imbalances. So simply stated, this course teaches you how to assess a client's symptoms from our intake forms that we provide, and how to identify nutritional imbalances in your clients. And we give you the tools to create recommendations in order to rebalance the body. So eventually you will have the skills and the tools to write a client case study report in a professional manner. So the online nutritional symptomatology course is very easy to navigate. We provide video lessons, some hosted by yours truly, as well as lots of additional information on how to navigate through our online lessons. All this information is backed up by a very easy to read textbook that facilitates your understanding of all the material. And this course also includes some assignments that require you to interact with fellow students online, which is always a really big bonus when you're a distance education student. So there's actually 4 instructors for the nutritional symptomatology course, all of them very skilled at instructing the students, writing a case study report. So as part of the symptomatology course, you're required to interview your case study participants as training for eventually setting up your own holistic nutrition practice. So we offer a motivational interviews course, Motivational Interviewing Skills, it's called, in which we equip you with necessary resources to facilitate positive behavioral change in your clients. And there it is on the screen. It's the first course in Module 2. And so in motivational interviewing skills, you'll be taught techniques to use during a consultation, and CSNN provides the practice opportunities for integrating these skills into your practices. So these two courses really work well together, right, Christine?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
They work off each
how
other.
you say things or how you present information to clients can make all the difference in their success.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were really excited. This is actually a fairly recent program. I think within the last 5 years, we've introduced
Mhm.
motivational interviewing. It
Yeah.
wasn't in the previous program before. So yeah, it's a really great, and it's a really good read. It gives you some good practical information telling you what you can and can't say to
Yeah.
people,
No,
and it helps you like how do you say things to people.
mhm.
That's what's really interesting about this program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
So moving on, we've got hormone health. This is the big one. I love this course. So hormone health is going to discuss how hormones and imbalances affect the female body. So anybody like me heading into perimenopause, man, hormones are ruling my life right now. So this was just a great course to really show how, or the importance of how hormone function and balance really, affects our bodies, our wellness, health, everything. So really, really great course. And then body, mind, spirit, one. So we're actually going to go into the science behind nutrition and how it affects and how do we maintain optimal mental health. So that's really, really exciting. Then moving on to body, mind, spirit two. This is the spirit mind connection. So we're having a discussion about how our feelings and emotions affect our wellness. It's introduced from a Vedic perspective. So a lot of Eastern philosophy is incorporated into this particular course. It's talking about the connections between physical disease and emotional and psychological. It also has some spiritual themes. It's not a religious studies course, just to be clear. This is we're talking about how emotions and psychology affect our bodies and minds. And then this module ends with business. This is one of our newest courses that's come about. We've just done a complete redevelopment of the online business course. It helps it's really guiding our students through not only the legal requirements that Vita is going to be heading up this course as we mentioned, but we're also talking about the legal practice within Canada, and as well as things like marketing strategies and branding. And I think it's a business course that no other school has. So we're really excited to introduce this course to you. So here we are, module 3. We're halfway through the program at this point. We're going to start off with, the easy course, the biochemistry and epigenetics course, right? We have to talk about genetics, and we have to talk about how our environment influences our genetics and wellness. And that's what biochemistry and epigenetics is all about. And then moving on, we have doing pathology. So we have clients that are coming to us with specific wellness goals and needs, have diagnosed conditions. And the pathology course really addresses these conditions very directly, very specifically, and helps us provide information about and recommendations that we would make to our clients. And this really becomes like the pathology course really becomes a major reference textbook for us while we're doing our case studies later on in the program after you've done your first initial few. Julie, we're going to talk a little bit more about pediatrics, right? This is our latest new course. I think in the last year or two, we've brought in a completely new pediatrics course written by a Canadian author. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic new course, and the textbook that she wrote is very, very extensive, yet it's really easy to read. All I can say is I wish I had had this textbook when I was raising my two children,
Right.
because it
Me too.
actually is very up to date. It gives the latest research and recommendations on supporting healthy, active children, and that's all any parent could wish for, is to have healthy children. So it's just I can't say enough about how great a course that is, and the fantastic textbook with lots of colorful recipes and delicious recipes to try on your own, even if you don't have children. So.
Yeah,
It's great.
Absolutely. I think you'll notice too, as we're going through this program, we don't really place a lot of energy, we don't put a lot of energy in discussing calories, and, emphasis on calories or macro and micronutrients specifically. We're talking about balance, and we're talking about, eating the colors of the rainbow, having lots of variety in our diets, and basically if you're eating a whole natural, diet, then a lot of things fall into place. But I think the exception is when we go into our sports nutrition course, because we're dealing with clients who are on a totally different level and have completely different needs, as far as nutrition are concerned. And so, Julie, you love this
Mhm.
course too, eh? You
Yes,
mentioned that you really enjoyed it.
yeah, this is one of my favorites. I learned a lot because I could never quite balance when I would work out exactly what I'm supposed to eat pre and post workout. That was a big challenge for me. But this nutrition course, it's really great in that it provides like up to the minute information on all aspects of the relationship between nutrition and sports performance. It covers topics such as hydration, very, very important hydration, sports supplements, carbohydrates, calories, fat, and protein requirements specific to your particular sport or fitness goal. I don't teach it, but our instructor for this course is Naomi Sachs. She's a holistic nutritionist who holds a Bachelor of Science in Biology with a minor in chemistry. She's had her personal trainer certificate for quite a while and has been involved in competitive sports for a couple of decades now. And so she's very, very experienced. And like all of our instructors, she's available to answer any questions that you may have regarding anything related to sports and sports nutrition. So it's a really good, complete course that I refer to a lot when I started doing weights. You know, those 2 pound weights. I wanted to find out exactly what I should be feeding my body. So she corrected me with that. So it's all good. It's a really great
Yeah,
learning.
that's right. I think this is we don't do a lot of math in this program. A lot of people are very intimidated when they see like anatomy and biochemistry and pathology, and they think, oh my gosh, I have to be a math whiz, or I have to have a, prior university education in these courses. And we really do bring you right from the beginning. So we start at the basics, and we provide some very, just basic information to help you, build your learning as you go through the program. So don't worry, if you don't have science background going into the program, it's not required. The only requirement to be part of the program is to be over the age of 19, and we'll get into that sort of thing a little bit later. So going on to the final course in this program is aging. It's kind of one of my favorites, so kind of letting me off the hook a little bit, but life cycle is one of those courses I particularly needed to hear. The first time someone called me ma'am, and I thought, that's it. I'm getting old. Oh my gosh. But this really brought some perspective, and we talk about things like ageism, which was the filter I was looking at my life through at that point. And also just realizing that the secret to longevity and fulfillment is just having really strong personal connections to people in your community. And I think that's what I really appreciated from that course. And it gave me a lot of comfort. And I hope in my life, I can, excite and encourage people to, do the same, and pursue the pursuit of happiness, right? But
Mhm.
through community involvement, and connection is really important to me
Mhm.
personally.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is a classic, right? Eco nutrition is the first course in module 4. This course discusses how humans have influenced our environment and how it's changed the nutritional values in our food. The course is not all doom and gloom. There's hope, and we sort of talk about things like, solutions such as regenerative agriculture, that sort of thing. So that's, I think, a very inspiring, very eye-opening course. And Julie, you love this course too. I know we were talking about that a little while ago.
Yes, yes. This is subject that I literally study when I'm not working. I'm so enthused about it and so interested in it, what's going on in our environment, in the world, the rest of the world. Our instructor for this is Robert Wilson Smith, who is actually fueled by a plant-based diet. So he has invested a lot of his own time as well in order to provide up-to-the-minute research on how students and actually everyone can regain control over our food supply and marginalize corporate power. So he's he's a great source of information for additional information, and whatever is in our textbook, he knows it cover to cover. So it's a really, really intense course, but fantastic.
Yeah, lots of really, really good information for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on next, right? Allergy. So we are in a allergy pandemic, it feels like. And as our bodies respond to living in a polluted environment, a world full of processed fast food, and then we're providing tools to strengthen the body's immune system and digestive systems in order to reduce the risk of even developing allergies in the first place. So really exciting perspective on allergies, how they are developed, and how how do we deal with them? So very cool. And then of course, moving on to research, our research course, and like, in a world right now, we are being inundated with new information, um, new claims, and then how on earth do we figure out whether it's information that we can trust? So the research course will teach you how to find, evaluate, and communicate like credible information to your clients. So very, very valuable in this day and age. And lastly, my favorite course is the Introduction to Use of Practical Herbs. If anybody knows me, I'm in my garden this summer. I have a herb garden, a little tiny vegetable garden in my little tiny patch in my backyard. So I love herbal remedies, and this is a really exciting course to be added onto our program within the last few years as well. Um, we are going to talk about several commonly used herbs as discussed. I think you'll be shocked at the number of herbs that we just find every day in our kitchens and how they actually do have medicinal effect on us. So we're going to talk about their properties and their constituents, and then we're adding a lot of techniques on harvesting and preparing them. Recipes are also provided in this course. And that rounds out, we have to end with the really fun course in the herbs course for the program. That's all 18 courses. So pretty fun.
Mhm.
So with the natural nutrition diploma, we're going to do the natural nutrition diploma first because that's why most people are here. So students are given 3 years to complete their studies in the natural nutrition diploma program. We estimate that the average person should commit about 20 hours per week if they want to expect to do their studies in about 2 to 2.5 years. The actual time required to complete the program is really going to vary depending on so many factors, right? Reading speed, comprehension, your work obligations, circumstances, life happens, your individual time available. That being said, the program is self-directed and self-paced, so it's even possible on the other side to complete it faster. The rate that you go through this program is completely dependent on the amount of time that you dedicate to your studies on a weekly basis. So payment plan options are available for the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program. We have a selection of 1, 2, 4, 6, and 12 payment plan options. I think we also have a monthly payment plan. Did I actually answer? I did add it. We never used to have it. We added it recently in last year. So we have a monthly payment. You'll notice that the more payments you choose, the more expensive the program is. So it's certainly a very important consideration when you're trying to choose a payment plan. Payments are scheduled from the date that your first tuition payment is paid. So if we process your payment on the 22nd, and we need to process it 3 months later, it's going to be the 22nd the following month. You can always change the payment plan options. That's fine. You just have to send us an email to let us know. But we schedule the payments, and then we automatically charge the payments based onto the payment method that you provided to us when you registered. And of course, that can always be changed. You just let us know when those changes are happening. You can, as I mentioned, change your payment plan. So if you find that you're moving through the program faster than you expected and you want earlier, access to those courses, you just need to send me an email to say, can you process my payment earlier? And we're happy to accommodate that. One of the few things in this world that is tax exempt is the Natural Nutrition Diploma program, which is so nice to say. You do not pay taxes on this program.
Yay,
How many times can you say that, right?
exactly.
There and when you're completing the final board exam, you were going to, sorry, when you're completing our program, you write the final board exam, completion of the final board exam, and you have to achieve a minimum average of 80% or higher to graduate. Overall, not just on the exam, just like overall. So don't worry about that. But there's a fee of $204.25 to write the exam. You also get your first year of membership with the CSNN Alumni Association, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. You're also eligible to receive as a Canadian citizen who submits Canadian income tax returns. We are registered with the CRA, so we issued the T2202A tuition receipt, and it's prepared and mailed to each student in February for the value of the courses completed in the previous calendar year. I've just received word, I'm just adding this on to the end of this, that we are now registered in the province of Quebec, so we can issue the Quebec tuition receipt upon request. If you reside in Quebec, however, you have to let us know that you need that specific receipt because we have to make additional arrangements to get it prepared, and it has to be submitted at the end by no later than the end of December. The request has to be provided in order to get that receipt. If we receive it in January, you won't get that one. You'll get the T2202 if you need to. So in Canada, let's talk about what you get from graduating this program. So in Canada, there are 3 designations that are exclusive to graduates of CSNN's Natural Nutrition Diploma program. So their designations are RHN, CHN, or CHNC. So registered holistic nutritionist, certified in holistic nutrition, or certified holistic nutritional consultant. The use of those designations and titles is going to vary depending on the province that you reside. So for information about that, do look at the CSNN website. I've actually given the URL here at the bottom of the presentation. It's the direct link to that information. So if you're curious about how to use that designation, that's the information there. And ultimately, as graduates, you have to be vigilant that you're using designations that respect both the laws, which are applicable to both where you offer the professional service and where your clients live. So we don't have a lot of information about the practice overseas or in other countries. Some countries have absolutely no restrictions or requirements. And then some countries, such as the UK specifically, have very specific requirements. You'd have to be like a registered dietitian and have a university education to practice. So that's something to be aware of. We also have memberships with third-party special interest organizations that can be beneficial to become members of, but they're not necessarily mandatory here in Canada. So membership is subject to the organization's requirements. So if you reside outside of Canada, again, it's recommended you thoroughly research the requirements in place for your province, state, or country. And the following slides are going to introduce the organizations that recognize the CSNN program currently. So in Canada, we have the CANNP, and that's the Canadian Association of Natural Nutritional Practitioners, and CanPro is also known as the Canadian Association of Holistic Nutritional Professionals. These are both well-established professional organizations and they have a really clear focus on business success. They strive to deliver outstanding benefits and empowering nutritional counselors with a collective voice. And so advanced workshops, we'll get into a little bit later, do count towards upgrade hours to fulfill the membership requirements for these 2 organizations. Now, in the US, because we do have a number of students in the US, the ability to practice holistic nutrition really depends on the state regulations. So to figure that out, there are what the requirements are. There's a couple of organizations you should check out, and I've provided the links. It's also in the brochure information. If you've received the program options and supporting documents information that I send out with brochure info, the links to these organizations is provided in that as well. So, but contacting the NANP and the National Association of Nutritional Professionals, that was a mouthful, is really important for you to know that information before you practice in your state. And finally, this is new, CanFit Pro has agreed to accept our culinary certificate, the healthy eating certificate, and the introductory certificate for up to 4 hours towards their continuing education for their members. So this is a new partnership that we have negotiated with CanFit Pro. Ultimately, finding employment is based on the availability in your area, and the requirements for employment are determined by the employer. So if you have specific career goals in mind, please also do research in what you need to do to obtain that job or career. As you can see, our graduates can be found in many different sectors, excuse me, of the wellness industry. Some graduates are self-employed. They may work in clinics specializing in specific areas. Education and fitness are also common areas where graduates seek employment. Some graduates will go into specializing weight loss. One thing we discuss, I think you'll see in most of our case studies, I would say like 90% of the case studies that come to us or clients that come to us want to lose a little bit of weight. It's always a little bit of weight,
Yeah,
right?
just a little bit.
So just a little bit. So many graduates work with supplements in areas such as research, training, and sales. Many are in the culinary industry. We get a lot of chefs. We have a lot of cooks. They went to school to learn how to prepare, how to cook food, but they didn't learn how to cook healthy food. So they're coming to our program to learn about healthy food and preparation techniques. So and also like since environmental responsibility is such a strong undercurrent in our program, many of our graduates are inspired to participate in green industry initiatives as well. Things like organic farming, community gardening initiatives, that kind of thing. Some graduates find themselves working for government and programs or for not-for-profits. Some are creating not-for-profits, which is very exciting. Maybe you would like to become a social influencer or work in the media or work for a company developing employee wellness programs. Graduates don't necessarily do just one thing. They could be work in many different sectors all at the same time. So this is our bonus. So if you register before June 30th, 2024, you can receive $100 off of your registration. This is for the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program only. You can type June 100, this coupon code, in the comments section of the registration form. Since I do the registrations, I will assume that you get the $100 off, but this is the code that you would choose just to prompt me. Sometimes I forget. So not everybody is ready to jump into the full Natural Nutrition Diploma Program. It's a lot. There's 18 courses there, and there's a big time commitment. So what we decided to do many years ago is we created the introductory certificate package, and that was created for an opportunity for individuals who wanted to just try it out just a little bit, and see if they were even interested in the materials and content in the first place. So the introductory certificate is the first 2 courses of our Natural Nutrition Diploma Program. So it's Fundamentals 1 and Fundamentals 2. You're given 6 months to complete those 2 courses. And I always say to people, if you're trying to figure out what the kind of pace or demand that you need to do to get the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program completed, try to get the Fundamentals 1 and 2 courses done in 3 months instead of 6, and that'll give you a good idea of how long it's going to take to get through through the natural nutrition diploma program going forward. So once you've completed fundamentals 1 and 2, you're invited to register for the rest of the courses. And that will start again with anatomy. Went through the modules earlier. That starts off with anatomy. You receive a certificate of completion if you complete both of those fundamental courses and receive an overall grade average of 80% or higher. You'll get a certificate of completion. Even if you don't, say you get 79% in the program, it does not mean that you can't register for the rest of the courses. Because remember, graduating the full natural nutrition program requires an overall grade average of 80%. So just because you had a little difficulty in fundamentals 1 getting 2 getting started, if you can up that grade average, of course, you're going to graduate. So students completing the introductory certificate then register for the natural nutrition program. You get an additional 3 years to complete the program from there. So anybody who wants to sort of stretch things out and get a little extra time, it might actually be a benefit to you to do the intro first and then move over to the full. And one thing to mention too, currently there's no requirement or no period of time to finish the natural nutrition diploma program and then move to the full program. However, that can change. If we start working on new curriculum for fundamentals 1 and 2 in several years or several, a great deal of length of time has gone by, and we're going to let people know if there's a curriculum change. And they register after that, they may be required to redo those courses. It may not, likely won't happen, but it might. So just be aware that that possibility is out there. The program that changed. Okay, I swear I changed this already. Did I not? Yes. So the cost of the program is $683.53. A month ago, it was $850. So we've actually reduced the price of this program to $683.53. And that is the cost of the, and then of course, there's provincial sales tax depending on the province that you reside in. If you reside outside of Canada, there is no provincial sales tax charged to this course. And also, but we do charge the cost to ship the physical textbook to you. If that is an issue, please have a conversation with us. We have some textbook options available to you. And so let us know ahead of time. There's also a requirement, if you for any reason are not able to complete the program within the 6 months provided, you have the option to extend your time, and it's a subscription fee of $30 plus GST and QST because we're here in Quebec. So it's like $34.50 a month to continue your access to give you more time to complete that information. Okay, so introductory certificate package, just as a recap, you're given 6 months to complete it. You control, again, the pace that you're going through it, and the average time commitment, 20 hours to complete it, say in 3 months, but you're given 6 to complete it. And again, the actual time to complete that program is going to vary depending on your weekly commitment to your studies. When you decide to move on to the full program from intro, we are also adjusting your fees. And so here you can see the schedule on the fee adjustment. So for example, a one payment plan, the original payment fee for a full program is $6,245. It's now been adjusted to $5,662. So that handles a good portion of the tuition cost that covers the intro 1 and 2 courses. It's a little bit more expensive because the introductory, any of our certificate packages are subject to tax as opposed to the natural nutrition diploma program, which is tax exempt. So yeah, a little bit of figuring out as far as the fees and costs to you will be required. So individual courses are available. So some people were completely intended for the hobbyist. This was kind of an option. We had people who just said, like, I just want a hormone health course. I don't really want to take your program. I just want to learn about women's hormones. So we thought, why not? Let's just offer them individually. And yes, they can be considered. If you take a course and then you do decide to move on to the full natural nutrition diploma program, if that course is still an active part of the natural nutrition program, of course, we would still consider it and we would deduct the tuition accordingly because you've already taken the courses. Prices for individual courses do vary. So I do encourage, if you go online to the distance education program and look at the registration form, the individual prices are going to be published on the registration form. And to mention, they are subject to tax as well. Individual courses are subject to tax. So I guess we had a conversation several years ago, I think, and we had this conversation about how do we make the concept of holistic and natural nutrition accessible to the general public who don't have the time or the energy to commit to a full in-depth program. So we came up with the Healthy Eating and Lifestyle Certificate package. So the program was developed really in response to a lot of requests. People were like, I just want to get the information so I can feed my family in, in a healthier, in a better way. Is there something that you can do for us? So this is where we created this natural healthy eating and lifestyle certificate. And it does not count for any credentials. There's no certification required. You'll receive a certificate of attendance if you receive a grade average of 80%. I think it's actually less than, I think it's 75. I can't recall. But you'll receive a certificate of attendance if you completed all of these workshops. There are 10 workshops in this certificate on various subjects. From, vitamins and minerals, the importance of fat, what are carbs, that kind of thing. And we also, I think, provide a little recipe book and it's completely done online. So when you register for this, all you do is go online, you fill out the form, you check the option that you want to choose, you make your payment, and then you actually receive instant access to the information. You don't even have to wait for textbooks to arrive. Everything is done completely online.
Yeah, it's a great course.
You're given 2 months to complete the program, and all the resources are provided. We estimate that the average student should spend about maybe 5-10 hours per week to get it done within the 2-month span. And if you're not able to complete the program in time, there also is a subscription fee that you would pay, the same subscription, $30 plus tax. So was it $34.50 to continue access to that course to complete it. It's very reasonably priced. It's $229.95 after taxes. And it's very, I found it very user-friendly for people who are a little bit worried about technology. It's a lot of there's video-based, there's a workbook included that you can download and keep for yourself. And I find it's just a really well put together, well-rounded, information about holistic and natural nutrition and what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Next, the holistic culinary. So I mentioned holistic culinary certificate is included in the natural nutrition diploma program as a free bonus. For people who just want the culinary certificate, you can purchase it yourself separately. The holistic culinary is a series of 10 workshops, anywhere from knife skills, cooking grains, legumes in a healthy way, bone broth, fermented foods, alternative baking techniques. All of that is covered in these courses. There's 10, international food choices. A lot of information's covered. I thought I've been cooking for a long time, and I thought I knew how to use a knife. I swear I took the knife skills. When I looked at the knife skills course, I learned so much in an hour because each video is about an hour or so long. And yeah, I learned so much. I actually ended up getting my own little sharpening stone, and I can now sharpen my own knives, and I don't have a
Wow.
dull knife in the kitchen now. I know, it's impressive. I impressed
Very
myself.
impressive.
I learned a lot from the course. Yeah, and if you receive an overall grade average of 75%, then you also receive just a little certificate of attendance. But I it also, as I mentioned, qualifies for continuing education units for CanFit Pro, which is very exciting. Yeah, really fun course. This is not, there was no tuition receipt issued for this particular program options as well as the healthy eating certificate, because these are just certificates. Tuition receipts are only issued to courses completed in the Natural Nutrition Diploma program. Just a quick little mention to that. Okay, students are also given only 2 months to complete the holistic culinary certificate. All the courses I mentioned are online, and again, 5 to 10 hours per week should be just enough to get through. The only requirement to finish this course, and it's kind of, we kind of joke about this, we really intended this to be like a recipe share website. So you're going to complete a course or watch a video demonstration. Essentially, you'll prepare a recipe that's been demonstrated for yourself. And we just take a little snap of picture snap of what you created, and you post it to a forum. Feel free to share any variations that you may have come up with when you're preparing that recipe. And I also joke, it's like, what if it didn't work out? I'm like, share the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, that's how we learn from one another, you know. Also share what didn't work. It's all good. Julie, you had something to say
Yeah.
about this.
Oh, I got something to say about everything, you know me. But yeah,
You
I like you. I've felt like I've spent my whole life in the kitchen, and things that I picked up from this course was unbelievable. Everything from learning how to sprout and to cook grains properly, to fermenting vegetables. I make a point of going to the green markets all summer long, pick up whatever veggies, cabbage or hot peppers or whatever, and I take them home and ferment them thanks to the guidance of this course. So the next thing I want to try is
Yeah.
they have a section on making the your own live kombucha beverages. So I haven't tried that yet. So I'm dying to try that this summer. So I'll let you know how that turns
Well, if we're in
out.
the area, I'll drop off a SCOBY. I use
Please,
SCOBYs in
thank
the kitchen.
you.
So yeah, get little layers. Yeah, I've got
Yeah, that'd
little
be great.
layers.
No, yep.
Yeah, it's too fun, too fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed. I mean, I did not even know what kombucha was when I started this program, and then we kind of had a discussion about it, and it actually is beneficial to digestive health. So,
I love it.
gave it a try, and now I'm
Mhm.
experimenting with different teas and flavors, and
Oh,
it's fun times. A lot of
that's
good time.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, we're getting close to the end here. So holistic culinary certificate is we give you 3 months to complete this, and it's again through the online learning management system. If you're not able to complete the holistic culinary certificate in time, again, there's a subscription fee that we would charge to give you continued access. And I should mention with these certificates, if you do complete it on time, you have continued access, and we don't charge the subscription fee. Just an FYI. You don't have to, the subscription fee is not something that you pay forever. It's only while you're completing your studies. So advanced. So what do you do after you've completed your natural nutrition diploma program and you have memberships to maintain with possibly with other organizations, or maybe you just want some additional information, latest information? We encourage our graduates to register for the advanced workshops and certificate packages. So these are they can be taken individually. I think one of the questions is, can I be registered with a branch and a classroom at the same time? It's because we're separate entities. The answer is no, you can't be. But once you get into the advanced courses, you're graduated from the program, your obligation to that branch or location is no longer a thing. So you can take these individual courses either through classroom locations or through distance ed. With distance education, the bulk of our program, our advanced courses are offered through like a paper-based, old-fashioned subscription, system where we mail the information to you. You complete your quizzes and tests. These days you can scan it and send it back to us. You don't have to send it to us through snail mail. But these completion of these courses we keep track of that, and they do count towards continuing education hours if you have memberships with other organizations. So moving on to what happens. So I've mentioned, I don't know that I mentioned this, when you pay your final board exam, the final board exam for the Natural Nutrition Diploma Program includes your first year of membership with the CSNN Alumni Association. And graduates of the Natural Nutrition Program, they can decide to maintain the membership with the Alumni Association, which is a nationally incorporated, it's a not-for-profit organization dedicated to the support and advancement of those who have graduated from the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. I think we have over 12,000 members, or I think we have 12,000 graduates from CSNN. So you can imagine it's quite a large organization. And the mission is to establish the alumni organization as sort of the starting point for our graduates to help you sort of launch into the real world after you've graduated. Through community information and partnership, they endeavor to support, encourage, and guide all holistic nutritional professionals to achieve success. Just gonna take a sip of water here. Now, here's time for Q&A. If anybody has any questions, please do put them into the chat box and I'll be happy to answer. Caleb, if there's any questions that you think we should answer out loud, please let me know and we'll be happy to take care of that.
Sounds good, Christine. That was a great presentation. Thank you for doing this. This is phenomenal. One question just came in. Everything else has been answered so far. From Sam Saeed. Just wondering if they can switch to the online program after they've taken the first 2 courses. They want to know about the transfer process.
Transfer process, yeah. So when you register for a branch or through distance education, your branch, you're registering to a specific, I guess, franchise, I guess you could say, of CSNN. So if you decide that that format, whether you're doing it live synchronously or whether you're through distance, because it goes both ways, what will happen is you'll submit a request to us to say, isn't like it's, it's not working for me, I need to transfer. And if you're in the full Natural Nutrition Diploma Program, what will happen is you're essentially withdrawing from one branch. We will then contact the manager of the other branch to see if there's even space available. We also have to make sure that things kind of transition well, because our classroom locations follow a semester system where distance education allows you to register whenever you want. So we do need to sort of synchronize your studies with, for example, if you were leaving us to go to a classroom, we have to synchronize your studies with the classroom schedule. We arrange to have transcripts switched either way, and the refund policy applies. I can say that people never end up financially better by withdrawing and then moving to another location, but it is possible. We allow you to do it one time only. I think one of the easiest things to do is if you were doing the introductory certificates, say with a classroom location, and you decided that maybe you needed more time or more flexibility in your schedule, because your contractual commitment ends with the introductory certificate, it makes it a little bit easier for you to transition into the full program with the distance education program, because ties have been severed and you're not out any money, basically. So yeah, basically the rule of thumb is if something's not working, contact me first. We'll have a conversation, find out what the barriers are to work, for your studies. We'll see if we can work something out. If we can't, then certainly we can entertain a transfer. We're very above board about it. So what will happen is you'll request the transfer. We will then contact the branch location, verify their space available, figure out what's required to transfer you to that location. That location will also provide information about the cost to you to transfer over. And at that point, the ball is still in your own court. So you can decide to stay or you can go. As soon as the papers are finalized, then the decision is made, but people can always change their minds up until that point. So yeah, I hope that answers the question without being too wordy.
Thank you, Christine. Additionally, the same would apply internal, going from the classroom to distance education. If you're interested in going to the online platform from a classroom branch and you have courses completed or you completed courses previously and you're no longer an active student, just talk to your branch and say that you want to register for the online program, and they will get in touch with us and set up an internal transfer. So The next question, Christine, is from Tatiana. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. She's wondering what the feedback has been for students with a full-time job while completing the program.
It's challenging. I mean, you're putting in, as somebody who does studies while I'm working too, right? You have to be able to carve out the time. And I think that's the biggest challenge of people balancing life and school. And so that's something to go in with your eyes wide open. Like we mentioned, you're probably looking around 20 hours per week. It can be less. I mean, if you're trying to do it in 3 years, you're probably looking around 10 to 12 hours per week. Most people are aiming for 2. For some reason, that seems to be the favorite goal. And you're looking at 20 hours per week for that. So it's having to balance. And that's really the main commitment. I've had maybe 2-3 people since I've started here in 2016 is when I started with CSNN. And maybe 2-3 people have said, I just don't like the program. Out of all of those people withdrawing, most of it has been time commitments, work, family commitments. That has been the main factor.
Awesome. To add to
I think
that,
we have a statistic, don't we, Caleb? 94% satisfaction, something like that now. What are we at?
yeah, our statistics are all on our testimonials page, and it varies depending on the subject, but all of our satisfaction ratings across all of our surveys are above 90%. And those are surveys starting as of March 6, 2019, when we started doing these surveys. So overwhelmingly positive from all of our students. If you register and you're taking the program and you're going through the material, statistics show that you're going to be a happy student. That's something we're very, very proud of on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, definitely check it out. To add to that question, Tatiana, if you're looking for feedback, our testimonials page goes through a lot of students' personal experience as they're going through the program. Especially the distance education platform. It's built for the people who are working a full-time job that can't really commit to the classroom time frame or a set schedule of a set class. That's why we exist. That's the gap that we're filling to make sure that we can capture those individuals who want to take our program but can't really commit to a set schedule. So read through the testimonials page, see what our graduates have to say on it, and I'll link it in chat here right now. Just for that. But yeah, definitely check that out.
And those statistics are coming from real live, like we are surveying our students consistently throughout the program to see what their experience is. And I can't stress enough to people, like reach out if there's ever a concern for any reason, reach out and let us know.
We're real people.
Yeah, we're real people, right? We try to be as reasonable as possible. Certainly there's rules and there's contracts and that kind of thing we need to respect. But we're also real people who have gone through the struggle of being a student and working a full-time job. So, you have our empathy. And if there's something that we can work through with you, we're happy to do it. Absolutely. I noticed, Sam, Samantha, you mentioned something about Quebec. So Quebec is special. In Quebec, our title is Holistic Wellness Practitioner because in Quebec, the translation of nutritionist and dietitian are one and the same, and they're proprietary to the Dietitians Association of Quebec. So we recommend that we call ourselves Holistic Wellness Practitioners. In our code of, this is kind of the same across the board in our code, our scope of practice, our code of ethics. We can't make claims of heal, treat, cure, and we certainly cannot provide nutrition as treatment for specific illnesses or disease states. We are looking at the body as a whole being. We believe people are biochemically individual. We provide individual recommendations. So we call ourselves holistic wellness practitioners. It's a popular term to call ourselves naturopaths in Quebec. And it's a very and it's our opinion from CSNN head office that it's an incredibly problematic term because people think that we are then naturopathic doctors, which we are not. And so we discourage our students from using the term naturopath. There's nothing to stop it, but we discourage you strongly from using it because it is so confusing. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're practicing in Quebec.
Okay, thanks. The next question, Christine, is from Katrina. If you sign up for a payment plan, can you pay it off quicker?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're in a 4-payment plan and you decide that you want to, combine 2 payments or just pay it off completely, we are happy to accommodate. You just send me an email and say, hey, can you process, payment 2, 3, 4, whatever you need processed. We'll actually also, and because we ship according to the payment plan we chose, we actually deduct the tuition a slight amount. I think it's like $35 for each payment after the first, so that you save a little bit of money too for paying off your tuition a little bit earlier.
Awesome. Patty has a few questions here, so we'll go through them one by one.
Sure.
The first question is, are different diets explored in the program, for example, vegan, macro, keto, etc.?
We don't specifically talk about keto directly. The research is still out, and it seems to be, just from my own personal research, because I'm fascinated with keto specifically. There's just a lot of question marks, and it's good for some people and not good for others. So, but we do talk about a lot of different diet philosophies. We talk about vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, lacto-ovo, paleo, Mediterranean diet. Anything else, guys? Macro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With-
actually, Christine, we're implementing a new Fundamentals of Nutrition course, part 1 and
Okay.
part 2. Part 2 covers a lot of these diets, and it's based on a textbook written by 2 naturopaths. And so they show the positives and the negatives of things like the keto diet, and they explore it a lot deeper. And we have videos they've actually made to help the student look at both sides and look at everybody as an individual, which is what we do here, right? So that course is probably going to be online within, would you say, 2 to 3 weeks, Caleb?
Yeah, no, it's just about ready now. We're just waiting on some more slides to come through, some final touch-ups. But yeah, no, the course will be launching very soon.
Yeah, so
That being mentioned, it's not live yet, so it hasn't been. I mean, we get to, we were saying 2 to 3, but it could be a little longer depending on just getting our ducks in the row. But we want to make sure that the course is done properly before we make it live. It still needs to be tested and that kind of thing. When you register for the program, you register for the version that exists at the time that you register. But that doesn't mean, like, if we have new courses that become available, you can upgrade them to a new version for additional fee, because you have to buy the textbook, and there's like a little bit of the fee to upgrade that information. And you can or you wait till the end of the program and you can take it as an individual course later on down the road. So there's a few options out there.
Awesome. So the second question from Patty, are graduates able to attain honors, and what are the grade requirements?
I believe honors is 85% or higher, as I recall. There's a specific little there's a gold seal that gets put on your diploma, and it'll specifically say honors on the little gold seal on your diploma. But as I recall, it was 85%. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since someone's asked me that.
Yes, it's either 85 or 90%. I can't remember.
I can't
either,
remember.
actually.
We'd have to look into that a little bit further.
Send us an email. We'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah,
To be 100% clear.
We'll check into that.
We just have to dig into it. But yeah, we do offer honors. How does CSN help graduates determine a specialization?
Well, we cover a lot of topics, right? So it's really following your heart when you go through it. I mean, when I went through the program, I mean, digestion and digestive health, the gut biome, all of those things were just, I found absolutely fascinating. And we haven't talked about it specifically, but the gut biome and gut health is really essential for our program. It's kind of runs through everything. And so I was really interested in how the gut biome affected mental health and wellness. And so that's my specific interest. Other people go into, nutrition for aging populations. Some people go into allergies and immunity. It really, as you're going through the program, we're hoping that we give you the foundations. We're not going to give you all the information. There's going to be additional research you do going forward. We're giving you the foundation, a starting point where you can start kind of discovering your passion. And I find that the people, if you have a passion for a specific area, the people come. The vibe is out there.
Yeah. So
And they come to you.
I think a big thing is to find your own niche.
Mhm.
And when you discover your own niche and what you want to do with the program, get in touch with us. We have an alumni association that's there to support graduates, and they're very hands-on with the graduates to help students be successful with their niche. So definitely figure out what you want to do as a specialization. Do you want to work with the pediatric community? We have new advanced workshops coming up for that to help you with the legalities and supporting the pediatric population. If you want to work with elders or whatever you want to do, you find your niche, get in touch with us, get in touch with the Alumni Association. They will help you.
Absolutely.
The fourth question is, Patty would like us to elaborate more on the business portion of the course a little bit more, and maybe Vita could touch base on that. She's the new instructor for that. I don't know what exactly you're just wanting to know about the business course, but we're definitely happy to talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. I'm happy to take that on. Thanks, Patty, for asking that question. So we'll be discussing legal aspects of the nutritional practice. So this will help you understand the different laws and regulations and ethical codes that kind of govern the practice of holistic nutrition. So you feel comfortable being a nutritionist and adhering to the law at the same time. We'll look into career planning and development, where we can assist students in identifying personal and career goals, and you'll have some assignments to do, which will allow you to delve into that to kind of see where your passion is. It will help you understand how to set up a private practice, how to have that professional skills, to communicate with your clients, and also with marketing and client management, and how to discuss health topics with your clients while adhering to the law. And that's just like scratching the surface of what we'll discuss. Hopefully that answers your question. And if you do want more information, you can always feel free to contact us, and we're happy to delve more into that. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Vita.
Welcome.
Sam Seed is asking, do I need to provide liability insurance in Quebec for working with clients?
Always. If you're working with people, people are very litigious. And you can do all of the right things and just be the best practitioner in the world, and someone will find a reason at some point. I'm not saying that it's very commonplace, but I'm saying do what you need to do to protect yourself.
Yeah, anybody on their own that's been an entrepreneur, regardless of the skill set or the course or what they're offering, if they're working on their own, they should have liability insurance as a business.
Yeah, I think
Kelly,
Vita, sorry,
sorry.
Vita, I think you can attest to, like, the secret to a good business, you have a lawyer and you have a good accountant.
Absolutely. And I also think the idea of insurance just brings credibility. So it makes people comfortable to have the consults with you. So I agree with Christine. I think a lot of people look for that. And sometimes our services are covered by insurances, and it's up to the client to go and review that. So it's just a perk to have when you're working. But there are different options available as well. And I think the Alumni Association has discount codes. So that's also something to look into. And it's a perk you get upon graduating.
That's right. I think our insurance company through our alumni association is by BrokerLink. It changes from time to time. I notice every time I go in, there's like maybe somebody else who's offering it, but BrokerLink is currently the company that offers liability insurance at a discount for us. And they cover, they have riders on, are you selling supplements? Are you providing, writing publications? Are you, putting yourself out there as a social media influencer, maybe saying things that could get you into some hot water. I mean, those are the things that they consider. So there's various riders that they'll have on the insurance company. I think I paid last time, it was around the $300, $350 range for around $2 million worth of coverage. So, but I'm sure that's changed. It's been a few years since I've been practicing. So
On the topic of the Alumni Association, it is important to note that we are the only holistic nutrition school in Canada that has an association set aside to help support graduates after they graduate from the school. Like, we really put emphasis on supporting individuals upon graduation. The Alumni Association throws on an annual conference. It's held in Calgary and in Toronto, and it's really well received. We have hundreds of people attending that conference. It's actually where I met Vita, who's with us today and joined us this week as a business instructor. It's a very good opportunity to meet people and interact and network. There's a whole bunch of supplemental companies that work specifically with nutritionists. So the Alumni Association is great, and it's what really sets CSNN apart for supporting graduates after they complete the program. Moving on to the next question. Are there any requirements for entering the diploma program? Would I be considered a mature student? She's a mother that works and has not attended secondary schools in good 15 years.
So the good news, anything, you have to be over the age of 19. That is literally the only requirement. And how I assess that you're over the age of 19 is you enter your birthday on your registration form. That is it. You don't have to have a high school diploma as long as you're over the age of 19. I think that's I think that I mean, that's a kind of, I think CSNN wants to make education available to everybody. It needs to be accessible to everyone. So we're not going to require you to have a degree. We're going to take you from the beginning anyway.
And
You just need your passion and your participation.
And logically, with a self-study platform, we're not really bound by a classroom size. So you're working through the program on your own, and it's self-directed. So we have the ability to accept everybody and anybody. We're not crippled by having to meet a size of a classroom itself. So yeah, definitely anybody and everybody's accepted as long as they're of age. The next question, Christine, is from Julia, asking if it'd be realistic to complete the program in less than 2 years.
I think it's possible to do it. I mean, to do it in a year, you're looking at 40 hours per week. It's a full-time plus job to get it done. People are doing it. I mean, I handle the Marks reports, and I'm seeing people do it. And it's funny enough, this year more than usual. Usually I would get maybe 1 or 2 a year who would do it in a year. Certainly never less. I've had one person do it in 9 months, and I don't know how they did it. It was a miracle. But everybody else is probably 1.5 to 2.5 years is usually the goal. But keep in mind, there's a lot of work to be done in the program, like 2,100 hours. So how can you disperse 2,100 hours over the timeline that you're preferring to complete it in?
Yeah. And I can answer this next question. It's from Katrina. She's wondering if there's a recommended reading list beyond the first 2 courses of the diploma program. And yes, there is a recommended reading list for all of our material. And in addition to a required reading list, just request a brochure. When we send out a brochure, all the information is included in that. So get in touch with us, ask for a brochure. There's a request for brochure options on the website, or email us info@csnndistanceeducation.org. We can definitely get that sent out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the required textbooks are included in tuition, but the recommended are kind of nice to haves. And that they are sort of they may be previous textbooks that still had some value that we enjoyed in the program, but maybe there was just some more up-to-date information. A lot of information about, body, mind, spirit, that kind of thing. Carolyn Miss is always a huge favorite. So definitely take a look at the recommended. That's in my program options and supporting documents information I email out. That's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any more questions in the chat right now. We can leave the floor open for a couple more minutes and see if we have some more to
I have a
close through.
couple just in case. I have a few that commonly come just to fill in the air while people are coming up with any
That's awesome,
options.
Christine.
Yeah.
Shoot away.
So one of the questions is, how do we differ from our classroom locations and our distance education? So many of you who've researched the CSNN website, you'll see that some classroom locations still offer in-person. Some are offering hybrid, and hybrid means that you're participating live through Zoom meetings. So you're not actually attending in person, but you are attending live through the classroom locations. In comparison, we have distance education, which is online, self-directed and self-paced. There is really no live component apart from the few live webinars that Julie might hold. But again, nothing is mandatory to attend. So you don't have to attend if you don't have the time to do it. The other difference is, you'll notice in the classroom location, they talk about practical hours. And I think I mentioned that in the Natural Nutrition Diploma program. With distance education, we do not require you to do those practical hours because it's already integrated into the learning management system already. So that's not a requirement as well. Gosh, we also, if you're in the Natural Nutrition program, get access to Holistic Culinary Certificate. I think it's an additional fee for our classroom locations. So those are the main differences. Instructors are contacted through distance education through our learning management system. It's an email relay system that people use to communicate. Instructors have 2 business days to respond back to you. On the other hand, you're in a synchronous class where you're talking to your instructors directly or classmates, that kind of thing. So that's the main difference. Let me just see. Can I participate in the classroom location versus in class? Unfortunately not, because we're separate or owned and operated under separate management. Our schedules, our fees are different. Therefore, it's really not possible for you to simultaneously attend a classroom location and then do the distance education program at the same time. Some people have contacted us about obtaining a student visa. So if you are an international student, in order to attend classes in Canada, you're required to obtain a student visa through Canada. However, with distance education, because you don't have to travel to Canada, you do not need a student visa to attend the distance program. I'm not sure how that works for our in-class now that they've gone hybrid. I don't know what the rules are for that, but do contact them. The only 2 classroom locations that I'm aware of that take international students through synchronous learning or through Metro Toronto and the Vancouver Island branch. Apart from that, I don't really have a lot of information. With distance education, however, you contact us or you have access 24/7 to our school, our information. Then again, how are tests administered? So when you're completing the coursework throughout the programs, they're timed, but they're open book. And as I mentioned before, the only exception will be the final board exam, which is a proctored exam, which is closed book. You cannot refer to your learning materials while you're doing that final board exam. I also had to mention, I haven't created a slide for it. I had to mention some people have contacted me who reside in other countries and they're applying for permanent residency or citizenship. And they want to know if they can use CSNN education on their applications. And categorically in Canada, any distance education program or online education is not considered towards a application for Canadian residency or citizenship. That's something to be aware of. If that, so to get information, I would get your information directly from the source and contact, Citizenship Canada to get information about, or Immigration Canada. They've changed the name. So it's, but do a search through the Canadian government website and to get your information directly from the source. And then if anybody is having difficulty with the program, we encourage you to reach out to your instructors. So as we mentioned, instructors are assigned to each of the courses, and you message them through the learning management system. If you have any questions or concerns about the course materials, you're welcome to contact them. If you have questions about anything administrative, financial, study timelines, anything like that, final board exam requirements, you're welcome to reach out to us here in the admin office, and we're happy to answer any of those questions. We have a Facebook group that is only open to either currently active registered students with the Natural Nutrition program through Distance Ed, or graduates. So you're welcome to become once you've registered, in your welcome letter, we give you the name of the Facebook group. You're welcome to register for that. You'll need to remember your student number, because that's how we identify that and make sure that you are an active member of our school. Yeah. And certainly any additional information, like any concerns, anything at all, please let us know. Those are all my questions. There weren't too
Awesome.
many.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Christine. I haven't seen any more questions coming through chat, so we can probably use this as an ending point here. We'd like to take a second to thank all of you, Christine, Julie, and Vita, for coming here. Christine, Julie, thank you for putting this together. And Vita, your personal experience was phenomenal for this. So thank you all. This was great.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Good attendance.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining us. And definitely we're real people. Get in touch if you need anything. And have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks again. Talk soon.